Once upon a time, in a bustling city filled with towering skyscrapers and zooming vehicles, there was a small patch of green. This was no ordinary green space, for it was the gateway to a place like no other, the gigantic garden. A magical garden where time flowed at its own pace, and everything grew to remarkable sizes, from flowers that stretched to the sky to trees that rivaled the grandest mountains. In this city lived a boy named Charlie. He was an explorer at heart, always yearning for adventure. His curiosity was larger than the city itself, and he often dreamed of discovering a place untouched by the hustle and bustle of urban life. One sunny afternoon, as Charlie was exploring his city, he came upon the green patch and noticed a small, hidden gate. Stepping through it, he entered a world filled with towering sunflowers, gigantic roses that perfumed the air with their sweet scent, and tulips as large as houses. Looking around in awe, Charlie realized he had discovered the adventure he had been seeking. In the heart of the gigantic garden, there was a tremendous tree with leaves shimmering in the sunlight like emeralds. Underneath this tree was a small, elderly lady with twinkling eyes and a gentle smile. She was the gardener, the caretaker of this magical place. Charlie, filled with questions, approached her. "How do things grow so big here?" he asked, his eyes wide with curiosity. The gardener smiled warmly. "With a lot of love, care, and patience, my dear," she replied. She then explained to Charlie that each plant in the garden had its own rhythm and pace. Some grew quickly, others took their time, but each one needed attention and nurturing. Seeing Charlie's interest, the gardener offered him a small seed. "Would you like to plant this?" she asked. Charlie agreed excitedly and planted the seed in a small patch of earth. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Charlie visited the garden every day, watering the seed, keeping it clean from fallen leaves and nurturing it with words of encouragement. At first, nothing happened. The ground remained still, and the seed remained hidden. Charlie felt frustrated. He had done everything right, so why wasn't the plant growing? Sensing his impatience, the gardener gently reminded him, "Patience, Charlie. Every seed has its own rhythm, just like you and me. It's doing its work underground, away from our eyes. We must trust its process." Encouraged, Charlie continued to tend to his seed. Even when his friends invited him to play, he always made sure to visit his seed, giving it the care it needed. Then, one beautiful morning, Charlie arrived to see a tiny green shoot poking out from the ground. His heart filled with joy. Over the following weeks, he watched in awe as his plant grew and grew. It wasn't long before it towered above him, blossoming into a magnificent flower with petals that glistened in the sunlight like polished diamonds. Through his journey in the gigantic garden, Charlie learned the power of patience, nurturing, and trust in the natural rhythm of life. He understood that growth cannot be rushed, and every living being has its own unique pace. From then on, Charlie became a frequent visitor of the gigantic garden, finding peace in the rhythm of the garden and applying the lessons he learned to his everyday life. In the heart of the bustling city, Charlie discovered an oasis of calm and understanding. A place where he learned to slow down, nurture, and be patient. His adventure in the gigantic garden wasn't just about discovering a magical place, it was about discovering a magical way of being. And so, even in the midst of the tallest skyscrapers and the busiest streets, the magic of the gigantic garden thrived, reminding everyone who entered its gates about the beauty of patience, care, and nature's rhythm. As the stars began to twinkle in the sky above the city, the story of Charlie and the gigantic garden reminds us that no matter where we are, we can always find magic. We just have to be patient and let it grow in its own time. Good night, and remember, beautiful dreams grow from the seeds of a well-nurtured imagination.